What's up guys, it's the Pixelate Pumpkin and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be showing you my ideas that would have made for pretty good props this year considering what the theme was. I know all the animatronics have been released and there's no more to come for this year, but I just thought I'd make some of my own that would actually match the theme pretty well. So, hope you enjoy it and let's get right into it. So first up we got the Haunted Harborman. This is a prop that will stand 6 feet tall and have 3 points of movement. His body, which would move from side to side, his arm, which would raise and lower the lantern, and his mouth. Now let's take a closer look at him. So his colors will be, his jacket that he's wearing over his overalls will be yellow, like a yellow rain jacket. His hat on his head, which is basically a rain hat, I don't know if you've seen any of those, but you could search it up yourself, which will also be yellow. His overalls, or fishing overalls, will be blackish green, and his boots will be gray. He would have a long gray beard with eyes that light up white. His face would be this bland grayish color, or I don't know, it would kind of be like just this grayish color to make him seem a bit old and like ghostly. His lantern, the light inside would flicker like it's a fire, which would add a lot to it. I feel like that would make it pretty cool and make it a bit more immersive. And his movement would be, so he would lift the lantern up and down and move from side to side. His phrases would probably be, "These harbors are haunted, stay away, and run while you still can," or something along those lines. So for a close-up on his face wouldn't be too detailed. He'll have a couple wrinkles here and there, and he'll have this menacing or like mean expression on his face, but he would always have a smile. And his mouth would move kind of similar to the way Hugs and Towering Clown's mouths move. His face would be made from that kind of rubber. And there's really not much else to say. He also has a mustache that goes into his beard, and he has some sideburns. But there's really nothing else to say about his face, so let's move into the next one. Next up, we got the Sorrow Sailor Boy. The Sorrow Sailor Boy will have a mechanism that makes the boat rock from side to side, slowly, but it would make it feel like it's actually rocking in the water. Then, when he finishes saying his phrase, he'll pop up and jump scare you, similar to Bloodthirsty Betty. He has this old Sailor Boy doll look, which is pretty creepy, and he has a bunch of cracks in his face. Alright, let's take a closer look at it. So you may be wondering how exactly this works. I mean, you probably will be thinking to yourself, isn't this a little too low to the ground to have as a jump scare prop? Well, I addressed that issue directly. So if you see on the bottom of the mechanism, it seems to be there's a base there, but this is a collapsible base. So you could push it in together to make it go higher, the prop, or you could pull it out to make it go lower onto the ground. This is the idea that I came up with to fix this issue, but there's probably some better ideas, but this is the easiest and probably the least costly way I found to address this issue, so that's what I did there. So what does the mechanism do? Basically what does it rocks the boat from side to side slowly, and when he'll sing a song or he'll say something. So my ideas for what he would say will basically be either sing "Row, row, row your boat," or he would say, "My dad fell in, and now he's gone. Let's hope the same happens to you," and then he pops up and screams. So now you may be wondering, how exactly will this jump scare work? So I did a little rough sketch here of what position he would be in the boat and an overhead view of the boat where he would be in. So basically, half of his body is laying down, and he wouldn't really have any legs or anything, but I gave him some legs in case anyone decides to look inside the boat. So basically, he would just stay here, and he would wait until the audio stops playing, and then he would pop up, kind of similar to Bloodthirsty Betty's animation, but most of his body would pop up in this scenario. So it would be a similar mechanism to Bloodthirsty Betty, probably a little bit bigger since this prop is a lot bigger than her. So yeah, that's how the jump scare works. Now you may be wondering, what the hell is this thing? Well, this is something to hide the mechanism, and it basically be a small connectable pond that you could do that comes with a blanket/tarp that velcros to all four sides, or all four parts of it, and then you would stick the boat in the middle and it'd be velcro to it. I was kind of on the edge whether this should come included with it, even though that would probably jack up the price a lot and make the box a lot bigger, or come separately. I mean, people could just do this themselves, so I would think maybe there would be a special deal at Spirit where if you want, you could buy if you buy the Star Sailor Boy at a certain time, this whole setup for the little pond would come free. So I was really on the edge about whether this should be included or not. So I'm gonna let the comments decide. So you tell me if this should be included or not in the comments below. All right, I say it's time to move on to the final one I drew. Let's take a look at it. Next up, we got the Drowned Corpse Groundbreaker. This is your standard Groundbreaker zombie prop, but he has some special things about him. All the leeches and the little fish on him all move. His head also moves from side to side, along with his arm that goes up and down. Now, let's take a closer look at him. Let's take a look at detail first. As you can see, he has a bunch of barnacles growing on him, along with some of his guts pouring out at the bottom. He also has a bunch of seaweed, which will basically just be some creepy cloth to throw on him when you do buy him. He also has an anchor, or a little hook in his hand, not really in his hand, but in his arm, where his hand got chopped off. He also has a fish and a starfish right next to each other, both clinging onto him. His arm will grab at the ground and basically move back and forth and kind of dig. He'll have a bunch of rips in his clothes, and there'll be some blood, and there'll be basically a bunch of stuff ripped up all over him. He'll just have some natural sea stuff growing all over him. Now, taking a closer look at his face, we can definitely see a lot of detail. His eye will be popping out, and he'll have a lot more barnacles growing all over him. A lot of seaweeds on him, plus the leeches, so it'll be pretty cool if this would actually become real. Also, you can see the fish on the side, which will shake like a normal fish to add a lot of motion to it. And I feel like this one is probably one of the ones I put the most detail into, but it isn't my favorite. My favorite, the one that I drew, definitely has to be the Sorrow Sailor Boy, but I do like this one, and I definitely feel like this one has the highest chance of actually becoming a real Spirit Halloween prop. Because, it's a classic Groundbreaker with a bit of a twist with the drown theme going on, where it's like he was lost at sea and now they pulled him out, so he's drowned and stuff, and he's all sea eroded and stuff, so yeah. Also, just to add a little something else to his prop, he'll come with an anchored tombstone, pretty standard, so that's why it's thrown in as a bonus. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know which one was your favorite that I drew in the comments below. I would love to hear your guys' ideas. I'm probably not going to do another one of these videos just because it's too late into the season to do these. So, I'm going to only do one this year. Maybe next year we'll get started on them a little bit earlier, maybe in the beginning of July. I think that would be pretty good. So, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!